I want to try things a little bit differently today. Rather than looking at individual parts and then using those to zoom out and get a look at the bigger picture of a song, I wanted to zoom in on a very specific part of a song that you guys asked me about. So looking at the verse of Eyes of the World, we have a C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B, E. Or, since we're in the key of E major, a 6, 2, 5, 1. Something cool about that is it's a sequence. You have a chord, and then play the chord a fifth below it, and then do the same thing. You have a chord here, and then play the chord a fifth below that. But now looking at the line in question, on the heels of my video on the Eyes of the World guitar solo, check that out if you haven't, several of you asked me, is the melody on Am I a Prisoner to Instinct or Do My Thoughts Just Live as Free and Detached as Boats to the Dock chromatic as well? Well, no, it's not chromatic. Let's take a look. It's actually completely diatonic. It's actually just the E major scale, but jumping up in this hopscotch pattern where we skip a note and then come back down, that is commonly used as a scale exercise. With a little bit of a different start. Am I a prisoner to instincts, or do my thoughts just live as free and detached as boats to the dock? But if it's just a scale exercise, why does it sound so cool and so good? Well, still talking strictly about the music, it is a triplet rhythm over a common time signature. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and am I a prisoner to instinct or do my thoughts just live as free and detached as boats to the dock? Having that triplet rhythm sung over a 4/4 time signature is, right off the bat, very interesting. Getting some polyrhythms in there. But another huge aspect of it is, of course, Julian's vocal performance, the way he delivers it. It has just this raw energy. He sounds desperate to escape the prism of which he speaks. And on that note, the musical choices that he makes during this line perfectly represent that idea of trying to escape a prison. Because in music, there often is this notion thrown around that scales are scales, and exercise is exercise, and practice is practice, and music is music, and melody is melody, and those two camps are diametrically opposed. And one could view that notion that scales cannot be music, and vice versa, as a form of a prison, a thought prison, a mind prison for composers. And Julian Casablancas here is railing against that, saying, no, it doesn't have to be that way. I will use the scale as a melody. And as he's escaping that prison of what a melody has to and cannot be, he is word painting. The scale exercise he uses as a melody is representing the imagery of the boats on the dock. I mean, you could see it, right? The painting of the landscape of like a bay or shore, and then along that, all of the next upper notes in the scale are just like bringing in the painting, the dotting of all of these boats. Am I a prisoner to instinct, or do my thought just live as free and detached as boat? Wait a second. Boats tied to a dock are not free. They are equally as chained up as someone in a prison. So when he's wondering if he's a prisoner of instinct and tries to escape that instinct and go and like be as free as boats to the dock, he's actually escaping one prison and really just going to another one. Just like as he's trying to escape this prison of the way a melody should be, he escapes to something else, scales, which really can be thought of as a prison in and of themselves, right? Like the authoritarian piano teacher slapping your hand with a ruler until you play those scales properly, being stuck in those boxes of these scales. And escaping from the prison of 4/4 time into triplets, well, that really is kind of just another regimented prison. Represented by the rawness of his vocal delivery, his desperate attempts to escape one prison only lead him to another one, to ultimately return back to the melody and the 4/4 time signature. It's like, there's something like about the allegory of the cave here, right guys? Like, you see that, right? The music and the lyric and the delivery, the performance, if these 2 seconds, this one line of this song perfectly represent not only each other, but are also an amazing magicalism-esque approach to representing the idea of the song at large. That though we may try, we are powerless to escape from the social systems and the societal ills of the society that we find ourselves in. Like, oh my god. And now you see why I had to dedicate an entire video just to this one line. You see, this is why I say music is fractal. As in, no matter how far you zoom out or zoom in, there is always a similar level of complexity. You can look at the whole structure at large with the same amount of complexity and analysis that you could to just the smallest little microcosm of it. I mean, look, we just spent, what is this now, video now, 8-10 minutes talking about 2 seconds of a song. And frankly, we could have done longer. Okay, alright, well there you go. Did you like the video? Did you like my analysis of it? Did you like diving deep into just like this one part of a song? If you did like it, please let me know, because this is definitely something I would love to do more on my channel if you guys like it, because I don't just love music and music theory, I also love songwriting and lyric, and I especially love them in tandem. And of course, if you liked it, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, and if this is something that you just can't get enough of, then I encourage you to take lessons with me. I have several students where this is kind of what we do in our lessons, is we talk about breaking down songs, looking at them through this lens, and talking about how we can apply the lessons we learn to our own songwriting. Or you can join me over on Patreon, where we have a Discord and a once-a-month masterclass for one of the tiers, where we also can talk about stuff just like this. It just won't be private one-on-one, but would be very much appreciated nonetheless. And we would love to have you and see you there. So there you go, my name is Matty Gregg, and I hope you learned something today that is valuable, that you can take with you and apply to your own songwriting and your own music. His desperate attempts to escape one prison... I keep saying prism.